Hey travelers, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking all about the Secretary of State. Who exactly is the Secretary of State? A brief history of this position, and what exactly do they do? Travelers, if you aspire to be a Secretary of State, this video is for you. This video is jam-packed with information. But before we begin, make sure you smash the like button and smash the subscribe button for more content like this. Travelers, are you ready? Let's get started. Who is the Secretary of State? The Secretary of State is the President's top foreign policy advisor. Under the Constitution, the President determines the United States foreign policy. The Secretary of State carries out the foreign policy objectives of the President. He or she does so through the State Department, which has the Foreign Service and the Civil Service. The Secretary of State also provides foreign policy guidance to USAID. In a presidential line of succession, the Secretary of State is fourth in line after the Vice President, Speaker of the House, President pro tempore of the Senate if the President resigns or passes away while in office. A brief history of the Secretary of State. When the Constitution was drafted in 1787 and ratified by the states the following year, it gave the President authority and responsibility to make treaties and to conduct foreign relations. However, it soon became clear that the President would need support from the executive branch to manage foreign affairs for the country. In 1789, the first federal agency, the Department of Foreign Affairs, was created. In September of that same year, it was renamed to the Department of State. Also in 1789, George Washington, the United States' first president, appointed Thomas Jefferson as Secretary of State. In those days, being Secretary of State was a logical step to becoming president. Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, and later Martin Van Buren and James Buchanan became president after serving as Secretary of State. In our nation's history, there have been more than 70 Secretary of States. 3 were women, Madeleine Albright, Condoleezza Rice, and Hillary Clinton, and 2 were African American, Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice. What does the Secretary of State do? Since 1789, the duties of the Secretary of State have not changed dramatically, but as the world has changed and the international communities have grown, so have the duties of the Secretary of State. As the President's top foreign policy advisor, the Secretary of State oversees over 30,000 employees and manages a budget of over $35 billion. For the Secretary of State, I grouped their duties into 3 different categories: the President, American citizens, and foreign relations. When it comes to the President, the Secretary of State, as I mentioned, is the President's top foreign policy advisor. This person also advises the President on appointments for ambassadors, ministers, consuls, and other diplomatic representatives. The Secretary of State also advises the President on acceptances, dismissals, and recalls of representatives of foreign governments. So in terms of U.S. citizens, on the most practical level, the Secretary of State is responsible for making sure that American citizens get their passports. Also, the Secretary of State is responsible for informing U.S. citizens of what is happening in foreign countries, and this can be in regards to social, economic, humanitarian conditions, just to name a few. And lastly, protection of U.S. citizens' property and interest in foreign countries. On the foreign relations front, the Secretary of State engages in a lot of different activity, one of which is that they go to conferences, international conferences, on behalf of the United States. Also, they promote dialogue in between the United States and other countries related to economic matters. They look at treaties, they examine them, sometimes they even cancel treaties, and they conduct negotiations on behalf of the United States. All right, travelers, well, that concludes today's video. If this video was helpful, let me know in the comment section below, and also let me know questions that you may have for a future video. Travelers, did you know that I have a free e-course? The link is in the description box below. It covers all things careers and international affairs and how to travel boldly with confidence. If you haven't already, be sure to share this video with somebody and smash the like button for more content like this. Travelers, it's always a pleasure. And until next time, let's travel with our dreams together. See you later. Bye-bye.